This video will be concerned with the Salesforce design. Now there are many factors that need to be taken into consideration when designing the Salesforce. For example, customer needs and changing demands. The Salesforce must be flexible, must be capable of changing as customer needs change. Customers may need more information, the product may become more technical, they need to have more reassurance about the product, and the customers also are aware, because of the onset of online shopping and online reviews of products. Customers know what the products can do, know what they expect of the products, they're more informed, and the Salesforce must be able to meet that and be able to deal with it, deal with more sophisticated questions, more perhaps technical issues, and give reassurance as to the capability of the product to meet those requirements. But also the Salesforce need to know about the competitors. What are the products that are being made by the competitors? What are their attributes? What are their prices? What's their strengths and their weaknesses? So the Salesforce need to be aware of what's happening in the wider marketplace, not just for their own product in relationship to the identified target market that they are working with. They must be more informed about the competitors, not just the competitors domestically, but what's happening internationally, because we live in a globalized world. Changing market demands and size is something that they should be also aware of. The market demands, as I said earlier, are becoming more sophisticated as customers are becoming empowered by the knowledge that's available online. But there's also the changing demands, because customers expect modernity, they expect newness in the product. They expect their products to innovate and change over time, not to remain the same static product as was around in the past. And they need to know that they're buying something which is going to be to some element, perhaps an illusion, but they want to believe that it's somehow future-proof, at least future-proof for the next couple of years perhaps. In other words, it's not going to go out of fashion or out of date very rapidly. It's something which represents good value for money in that sense. But also the market size is changing, because, as I said earlier, we live in a globalized community, one where customers range right across the world, and indeed producers exist right across the world. So we live in that sort of community, and the size of the markets can vary dramatically as a consequence. And again, the Salesforce must be capable of dealing with that change. And technological advancements, well, as I said earlier, there's a lot more information around because of online facilities. There's also communications channels between customer groups. There are blogs, websites, there are feedback areas on most websites regarding sales and customer experiences. Customers are encouraged to rate products as good value for money or not. And all of this means there's more information available. Also, products themselves are expected to incorporate some of these technical advancements. Not all products, of course, some will be traditional products, but some, where possible, they should include technological innovations. For example, motor cars were once used to drive people from one place to the next. Now the motor car will have a built-in satellite navigation system, it will have a telephone, it will have a music center, it will have air conditioning, it will have a lot of facilities built into the car. These are technological advancements. The Salesforce also need to be aware of the wider environmental factors, which can be summarized in PESTEL, the political, economic, social, technical, legal environment. and environmental, I should say. But look at all of these factors and see how their product fits this. Is it one which is it's not politically controversial in any way? It's not that it's exploiting the workers who made it, or it's not going to damage the reputation of the company in any way. It's economic because perhaps it's using renewable resources, and also it's priced fairly. It has a social impact. Perhaps it's related to the desirability of the product in the community, and that it's somehow approved, it's fashionable. It's a product which the community, the wider community, can accept and enjoy using. It could be an element of technological import as well. As I said earlier, cars have become increasingly more complex, but also the humble fridge in the kitchen may now reorder when a certain item runs low. It can place an order with the shop who will make a delivery of that item if so desired, and it does this without the intervention of the owner. The owner will originally program it and set it up, but once done, the fridge will then monitor the stock of various items in the fridge. That's technological. But this is happening all around us. The legal bit, make sure that the product is legal. It's not dangerous to use. It's not environmentally dangerous. It's acceptable, an acceptable product. And the environmental factor, that it can be disposed of at the end without damaging the environment. Not just it's going to be thrown into the sea as a pile of plastic and left there for X thousand years to kill a lot of marine life. It is responsibly dealt with. So the sales force should be aware of these factors and be able to associate them with the product they're selling. And should also be aware, they should be aware of new product development. What's in the pipeline? What's coming down the line? The product has certain attributes at the moment, but they know that in the future it'll be developed in certain ways. And they need to be able to perhaps advise customers not to put off their purchase, but advise them that new facilities for the product will be made available in the future. Perhaps some sort of updates to the product. Looking at the existing strategies and their success, the sales force need to know about this. What strategies have been used by the sales force, and to what extent have they been successful? Which strategies have failed? And which ones have not been very successful? Which ones have been very, very successful, the opposite end? And what do these strategies involve, and how can they use that knowledge to advance their own sales? The sales factor must also know the growth objectives and projections. The company, through the marketing department, will have statistics about the growth of the market, the changes in disposable income, the size of the population, the trends in the market, and this should be made available to the sales force, who know what the objectives are and know what the company is aiming to achieve, but they're also looking at what has happened over the last perhaps few years, so they're able to make projections, and they're kept aware of their own performance and the performance of the business.